Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for coming to our webinar today, Creating Without Borders. I am Alison, Director of AUNZ, and I am joined by Stacey, our account executive, who is going to be giving you the bulk of the demonstration today. But quickly, a little bit about IMC in a nutshell before we go into the exciting demonstration and conversation that we have. So learning is our guiding star, and we haven't deviated away from that in our 26 years in industry. We are a global organisation. We are headquartered out of Germany, but today Stacey and I are joining you from our Australian office, our largest satellite office down here in Melbourne. So we're a full service provider. We have a best of breed learning management system, the IMC Learning Suite. We then also have a bespoke content department. And what we're looking at in more detail today is our content authoring tool. And that is what enables our customers to be able to produce their own content strategies. So it's been almost 4 years since we first launched IMC Express. And we did so because as a business with a bespoke content development department and intimately acquainted with the L&D conversations and seeing the need from the people, we could see the pressure that those departments were having from the need for these bulk content requests. So IMC Express fills that gap by empowering individual citizen creators to generate training to be able to meet their requirements. And this in turn then takes the pressure off L&D departments and adds value back into their jobs by being able to focus on those real hero pieces, gold level training, which has multiple stakeholders, high complexity and relevance for the whole company. So IMC Express is the easiest content authoring tool to use, and it is designed in such a way that the L&D team or the responsible stakeholder within a business can set a template and boundaries for creation, but then the tool will leverage automation and AI smarts to be able to do the rest. And it's really aimed at those without training in training creation. So if your citizen creator can use Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, then they will be able to use IMC Express. And we're really excited to see that some research out of Gartner shows that by putting the creation of content back into the hands of the individual that intimately knows the topic, then the individual consuming it does so without even acknowledging or even realizing it. And that's the most successful format of training. We're really proud to have the likes of Mercedes-Benz, Allianz, Pierre Fabre, Hansgrove, Civil Service College in Singapore, Unica, just to name some that are already using IMC Express. And that's a bit of a mix of industries as well. So some of those organisations are using the tool internally, their L&D departments, support subject matter experts to be able to create training for staff. But for others, they're also using the tool to be able to create training for an external audience. So whilst I've focused on the accessibility of creating content for the creator, let's then flip that narrative and focus on training that doesn't feel like training. And let's talk about how IMC Express is breaking down those traditional barriers, such as language, to be able to ensure that you deliver the best possible training and therefore the best possible outcome to your learners. And to do that and to talk you through it today, I'm going to pass across to Stacey.
Excellent. Thanks, Alison. Before we jump into IMC Express, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the benefits of learning in a native language. So I'm going to share my screen. Excellent. And rather than prepare a PowerPoint to go through some of this theory, I have created an IMC Express module, which I'm going to access through the LMS as a learner would. So let me just open that up. Just confirming, Alison, that you can see this.
Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. All right. So I'll just open the SCORM package now. But creating without borders, we chose this topic not only because we wanted to show you the fantastic strength of our tool in this area, but it's also a really important D&I initiative and really relevant to most organisations, not only if you've got an offshore presence, but for those with diverse workforces, which is just about any business, including IMC. Just imagine giving ESL employees the choice of learning in their native language without all that additional time and cost that it used to add to the development project. And we also think it's a really great way to show your level of commitment to your workforce and also be able to be very satisfied that you've gone to every length to ensure that the learners have been able to comprehend the information that you've provided to them. I'm also really passionate about it because, a little bit of background on me, I've been working in and around digital content development for about 14 years, and I've managed a lot of projects where my customers were spending, it was probably about $3,000 per 30-minute storyline module, and then a couple of extra weeks of development time for each of those. So what then took a lot of time and money can now be done in a click of a button. And it's tools like IMC Express that are removing the barriers, the limits of your employees' learning outcomes. So I just want to touch on three. Oh, sorry. I've finished the module already. One moment, I'll start it again. I must have started it at the wrong point. There we go. Just want to touch on three high-level points here. And the first is inclusivity. So providing content in native languages ensures that everyone can participate regardless of their background. The second point is better outcomes and knowledge retention. So language-specific training facilitates better comprehension and internalisation of the information, which in turn leads to more successful knowledge retention and the recall of that information. And then the third point is happier learners applying what they've learned, which is all what we all want. So learning in a native language increases the motivation and engagement with the content. Employees are more likely to apply what they've learned, and in turn that boosts productivity. Now let's touch on what underpins all of these benefits, which is the reduction in cognitive load. So I did some more research on this topic in preparation for today, and I found two main reports on studies done, one in China and one in the US, and they were both in the academic space. They were looking at dual language immersion programs for students. So these students were learning in dual languages of different proportions. So some were learning 50-50, others higher or lower. And they were looking at how this impacted their academic performance in general. And although these studies were looking at students in an academic environment, the outcome can absolutely be applied to our scenario. And that is that native language learning reduces cognitive burden, allowing learners to focus on understanding and applying the knowledge. So there's 5 ways that it reduces the cognitive burden. The first being familiarity with vocab or vocabulary. So when you're learning in a native language, you're already familiar with those words, phrases, syntax, which is reducing the mental effort required and allows you to focus on the concepts rather than struggling with that comprehension. The second is more efficient information processing. So your brain can process information more rapidly in your native language because it's not trying to translate or decode unfamiliar words. It frees up your cognitive resource and allows learners to focus on that critical thinking and deeper learning. The third is memory retention. Because the training is aligned with the brain's existing linguistic framework, it improves knowledge retention. It allows the learner to make connections with prior knowledge and enhances their understanding and the recall of the information. The fourth is that it reduces stress. Learning in a second language can be stressful. The learners are managing a language and the content itself. So using the native language reduces that strain and allows them to fully concentrate. And the fifth I wanted to highlight is that it improves connectedness. Learners that learn in their native language, they feel more confident and connected, which of course leads to better learning outcomes. So let me touch on the main benefits. And I'll just get you to pause while I flip all these cards back around. I'm not sure what happened to this course. It's still going into its visited state. But let's unpack these main benefits. So the first is improved comprehension and retention. So employees are more likely to understand and retain the material. We've talked about the cognitive load, and it all leads to better knowledge retention and application when they're not grappling with language barriers. The second is increased engagement and motivation, which leads to higher participant and completion rates of the training. The third is enhanced learning outcomes. Employees are more likely to apply what they've learned on the job. The fourth is faster skill acquisition. So by removing those language barriers, employees are developing, focusing on developing the skills rather than interpreting the content, which leads to quicker mastery of new skills. The fifth here is improved employee satisfaction. It demonstrates an organisation's commitment to inclusivity and respect for cultural diversity, which really fosters that positive workplace culture, increasing employee satisfaction and loyalty. And then finally, better communication and team collaboration. After learning in a native language, these employees are going to be better equipped to communicate and collaborate across teams. And also in diverse organisations, you're helping to break down the barriers that can hinder teamwork and productivity. So we'll finish off with a quote that really speaks to this topic from the importance of a D&I sense. All right, so with the theory out the way, let's jump into IMC Express and create a module from scratch using Iris, our AI assistant. So I've now jumped into IMC Express, just confirming, Alison, you can see that. Terrific.
Yeah, thanks, Stacey.
Yeah. All right, so we will get to the AI translation features of IMC Express, but to show this effectively to you guys, I need to first create a quick project. And I've been reading a new book called Stolen Focus by Johann Hari, and I'm a little bit obsessed by it. So I'm going to use that for the topic of today's module creation. But I'm not going to use the book as my content. So I'll need a little bit of help from AI. And I've also got a bit of content that I want to drag in there as well. All right. So I've got a Word doc that I'm popping in there with a bit of content. And I've got a prompt for Iris that I've pre-written. Excellent. Okay, so in a moment, you'll see that Iris is going to start to pull in some content. There's going to be some structure, there'll be headings, content, and a bit going on in the background, but this will take a couple of minutes. So I just want to talk through and explain a bit more about what I just did. So I've taken the blog article from Smiling Minds. Let's say I like the content, it reads well, it's in style with my organisation and how we communicate, but it's not enough. So what I've done is I've popped that into the AI engine, and I've also written a detailed prompt about what I wanted to be created. So you can see now there's a bit more going on in the background. So this is going to give me a basis to work from, and then I'm going to take the raw makings of the module that I get, and I'm going to make it mine. So I'll take you through 3 very quick rounds of editing today. The first round, I'll focus just on the visual design. I'll give it a suitable look and feel, jazz it up, make it look nice, add a couple of images and videos and things. And then the second round, I'll enhance the content. I'll do that both manually and using AI. And then lastly, I'll add that secondary language, and I'll show you the functions available to create that high quality multilingual training. So I know that's what you're here to see, but as I said earlier, we just need to do a few things so that it's a really good experience for everybody. All right, now the beauty of a live webinar, Iris is still going. Perhaps for the sake of today's demo, I won't wait for her to finish. I think she's probably done enough. I'll refresh, and then I'll take the content that she's created and I'll work with it. I'll just have to jump out of full screen mode to do that. Okay, so we have the beginnings of a module. So you can see here we've got some headings, some text. I've got a multi-choice question, which is great, exactly what I asked for. And I've got a flip card interaction, again, what I asked for. So it's not everything that I probably would have wanted to start with, but because I cut her off short, I won't blame Iris, but I can easily add additional elements. It will only take me a second once we get going. All right, so let's focus on the look and feel of the module. I'll just open up all my editing sections. So to do this, I'm going to add a theme. So in IMC Express, you get an unlimited amount of themes to be created that will reflect your brand or brands. I'm going to select this nice one today. Terrific. And I'm just going to quickly, I know I said I wouldn't touch the content, but I can't help myself. I'm just going to quickly change some of those headings. I am going to add some images to these flip cards. When I click on the flip cards and on that image icon, it goes straight to my image library. So from here, I can easily add images to each of the front of these flip cards. We'll just get this done real quick. I've uploaded some relevant images, as you can see already. And the image library has got some great features that the AI assistant will automatically tag your images so that you can easily search for image topics and the like, and keep a nice organized image library. This library also will hold your videos as well. Last one, what did I not pick? There we go. Terrific. And I'm going to also add the link to a YouTube video, which just happens to be the author of the book that I've been reading. All right, terrific. Now that I've done just a little bit of work on the visual look and feel, let's preview the module and we'll see how it's starting to come to life. And as you can see, you can preview in 3 different device types there, and IMC Express develops content that is fully responsive. So you can see here I've taken on that really nice looking theme.
Introduction to
Turn off voiceover for now. And as I flick through, it's starting to come together visually for today's presentation. And ooh, there we go. Lucky guess on that one. We'll get to the flip cards. Terrific. There's my video. And I'm done. So as you're using IMC Express, the idea is to be in the back end developing and jumping into preview to see how the content that you've added is presenting. Right, now let's focus on the content. Now I like a bit of a personal touch in a module, so I'm going to record a short video on the fly here today, and this could be from someone relevant in the business introducing the topic. For example, that's me today, so I might be a team leader, or I might be head of HR, but I'm going to do this live, so bear with me a tick. So I've got my media uploader, which I'll show you in a second. Yep. So this makes it easy for me to upload media straight from my mobile device. Ooh, yep. And pop it automatically into my image library. So I'm going to go on mute because you don't need to hear me creating the video. I'm going to create this on the fly. I'll hand over to Alison for a sec, and then I'll come back and show you how the video's been added into the module.
So I'll certainly fill a couple of seconds here for Stacey. And just to put a bit of real world context into this, and a very Melbourne real world context, is that we got a new coffee machine for the office, and I created a Express module for how to use the coffee machine. And to introduce it, I decided what better way than to make a coffee, film myself making a coffee and having a first sip. So I did that with the Launcher app that Stacey's now showing. And it really brings back that citizen creation point and that, I guess, almost like TikTok-y type feel where it's a different type of content that we're used to seeing. It really engages people. You're instantly interacting with that subject matter. And for me, I got to film myself using a coffee machine and drinking an espresso, which is never a bad thing. For the other organisations that we have in our customer bank, we've got a couple that are in the automotive industry, the manufacturing industry. And again, a use case can be physically out on the shop floor or the industry floor, and you need to record an example of how to do a particular action with a piece of machinery. So on the fly, I can capture that real world and upload it straight into the content.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for filling that space there, Alison. So my video, I've taken my video. I think I'm going to be able to hear you talking in the background. I actually didn't anticipate that, but that's all right. We'll see what that does to the captions, okay? But I tried to speak quite loud and step away a little bit more, so we'll see how that's gone. But my video has now uploaded directly into my IMC Express media library. So if I click the plus button here and add a video, what I should find in here is the one, oh yeah, okay, that's the one. With my eyes shut at the start is the one I just recorded. I did record one earlier just in case it hadn't worked. So let's pop the real unflattering version into the course. Talk about working on the fly. And what I'm going to do here is automatically generate some subtitles. Again, gosh, I've seen a lot of time spent on generating subtitles in digital modules. So Iris is going to work on this. And while she does, because it takes a minute or two, I'm going to work down through the content and enhance and bring it to life. And I'll start by continuing to use Iris, the AI assistant. So if I select this paragraph of content, I can use the assistant to make all sorts of changes. For this example, I'll say, look, I think that's a little bit complex to start the module. So I will ask her to simplify the text for me. And what happens here is that she's thinking and she'll come back with a recommendation, and I can choose to either accept or continue to prompt her for something else. So you'll see just one moment that'll come up and I'll be able to accept the changes. Putting her under the pump here. I've got her doing two things at once, but she's a female, so I'm pretty sure she'll be able to handle it. I'm sure she's not too far away now.
And maybe whilst that's still just loading in the background, is that whilst we are applying AI and really focusing on the AI here, we certainly know that some companies are still questioning the use of AI. So you are absolutely welcome to not have that activated and to do the work yourselves. So whilst we're showcasing this feature, if it's not for your organization, we recognize that and we've got a solution.
Yeah, great point. Thank you. The second block of text, perhaps I've read it and I've thought, oh, it's a bit too much about work. I do want people to also understand that this is something they may be faced with in their personal life. So I've asked her to include a reference to maintaining focus in personal life also. So again, same process, it'll come back to me with a recommendation and I have the option to accept that or do something different. And as she's working, I'm going to jump back up and have a little look. Actually, no, I'll scroll a bit further down. Nope, I won't. She's too quick for me today in this example. So I'll apply that there. Terrific. Okay. Now we've got further content here. And actually, this is a good point. What she's come up with is perhaps a little long. So it's encouraging me to shorten that text. So I will do that so that we can push on with the demo. Now, she also created a multiple choice question for me, which is great. So I can take a look at that. And if I'm not happy with the question created, I can absolutely change it. Let me just implement those changes too. Okay, and I might decide between text and question. I just want to put a little bit of connective tissue between those two elements. So I'll pop a little citation in there, change that to an exclamation mark, just to ensure that the module is flowing nicely for the learner. Multiple choice questions, we do have the option to add correct and incorrect feedback as well, but I won't do that today. And I've got my flip cards, nothing needs to be done to them. I'm going to also add a hotspot, so I'd like to add some more interaction. So I'm going to use both manual and AI features for this. So with the hotspot, I've got the choice of selecting one of my existing images or using the AI image engine to generate an image. So I've got a pre-written prompt here. And the AI image will be generated in a matter of seconds. And then I can, again, either choose to accept that or change my prompt and choose something different. Okay. And we're almost done. Only a couple of other things to add. That's okay. That's okay for today's demonstration. Terrific. All right. Things are taking a little bit longer. Nope, we're there. So with a hotspot interaction, it's asking me to add my hotspot headings, which I will. I want to highlight time pressure. I want to highlight phone messages, and I want to highlight instant messages, all such big distractors on our busy lives. I've got some descriptions in here. Got to pick up the kids, one quite close to my heart. And then you're getting some instant messages left, right, and centre. So then I'll pop my hotspots in the appropriate places. And it's as easy as that. In a matter of seconds, I've got a hotspot interaction there. And because I love a bit of reflection time, I'm also going to add a pause for the learner here. And I'm going to ask them to take some time to look around and identify sources of distraction for them. And 2 more to go. Finally, I'm going to ask Iris to insert some key points. So you'll see there that the pre-written prompt insert a list of important key points, summarise the text, stick to the core message, summarise, use simple language and avoid complex terms. Don't include any additional information. And you would see by my presentation earlier, I do love a quote. So I'm going to finish off the module with a quick quote that the learner can take away. Really got her thinking today. There we go. It's a quote about burnout. We'll pop that in and go from there. So let's go back and quickly before we preview, let's just visit my captions. We're going to have to generate those again. Perhaps I asked her to do too many things at once and she had to let one go. So here's the captions, which was nice and quick. Now I have to admit I do say a little bit, you may have noticed. So I love that I can have the opportunity here to take out all my R's and ums. So look at that, beautiful. I mean, obviously it's still in the video, but for anyone who's relying on captions, they don't need to view my R's and ums. There's another one. And we'll take a couple out. Excellent. All right, terrific. Great. Let's preview the module again for a second time, and then we'll add the next alternative language, and we'll get into those features. Terrific. So now we've got a nice look and feel, and we've really enhanced the content to what it was from the AI creation.
Introduction.
Turn that voiceover off for a moment. There's my video. Lovely.
Hi team. I have to admit, over the last couple of
We won't play the full thing, but you can see how easily that's gone in.
months, I've been finding it difficult to maintain focus.
Oh, and I've actually got it on a setting that means that it has to play all the way through. So we'll change that when we go back in. Yep. Oh, why can't I get past the video? Sorry. There we go. Terrific. So you'll start to see some of the content that we've put in. And work through really quickly. Let's test some theories. We've got a question. Probably need to update those headings. Ooh, I didn't actually. There we go. Excellent. We've got cards to work through. Terrific. Here's my video. Here's my hotspot interactions. You can see that that's working really nicely. I've asked them to pause and take a look around them, put in some key points, and finished with a quote. So let's go back to the back end of the system and add the alternate language, which is what we're here to look at. Before I do, I'm just going to update the settings on this video. Terrific. Now, adding another language in IMC Express is really simple. I've created this module in the leading language of English, and now I'm adding another language. I'm going to add Indonesian today. I have a default AI voiceover. I can change that if I like, and I'll click apply, and that's done. Now the course is working in the background. We can see there's tasks, but we can absolutely start to see the translation come to life. So I'm going to view the course now in Indonesian, and as I scroll down, I can see all the captions, all my content is translated, including all of my captions, my headings, my interactions, the question, the flip cards, everything is translated, which is really amazing. All right, so let's jump back into English before I click preview, because I want to show you what the learner experience is like. And one thing I really love about this tool, and I think it's because of my history with content, is that there is one SCORM package from IMC Express that holds all language translations. So your leading language and then any additional languages. So if you've ever developed multilingual training in a more mainstream authoring tool like Storyline, you would know that you need one SCORM package per language, which is a lot to then maintain and manage over time. And how inclusive does it feel that the learner can open the one course and get an option of a number of different languages? So I'm going to click in here, more comfortable to learn in Indonesian. And here is my course.
Pengantar fokus di tempat kerja.
And
Saya harus mengakui, selama beberapa bulan terakhir, saya merasa sulit untuk mempertahankan fokus baik di kantor dan
you can see here that my video has been auto-dubbed, or an Indonesian voiceover has been automatically applied, which, you know, to have the captions in Indonesian there is great, but we talked before about cognitive overload. If they're listening to me talking at them in English and they're trying to read captions, that's a little bit too much. So to have the voiceover option automatically applied, I think is an amazing feature for the learner. All right, I must have a setting about this video to play out before I move through. So I might have to jump back and jump forward again. Sorry, that doesn't normally happen. The beauty of a live webinar, as I said before. So as I work through the rest of the module, it's giving me a fully translated experience. Oh, sorry, going a little bit too fast. And I might stop at the knowledge check because I'm going to have a bit of trouble answering the question. So I'll shut the preview down, and we'll talk about sharing the module. I'll jump out of full screen because there's a little bit of processing that's still going on in the background. So just to push that through in terms of time for this demonstration, I'm just going to jump out and jump back in. Now, in terms of format, IMC Express projects can be delivered directly to your LMS via a PENS transfer, or exported as SCORM 1.2, 2004, HTML, shared as a web link or a demo link. There's lots of different options. So today I'm just going to quickly push this out as a web link. What it's going to do is bring up a QR code on screen. We'll just leave that on screen as we're going through a bit of Q&A. You can scan that QR code and access the course, and there'll also be a URL there that I'll paste into our chat. So that brings the demonstration part of today to an end, and I hope that it really inspired you to make a commitment to deliver training to your employees in their native languages, and I hope that it's also shown you that it's no longer something that's out of reach in terms of budget or time.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and we will be in contact with you shortly with the recording and any assets and material. Anything that we can support you with, just let us know.
Terrific. Thanks, everyone.